Good afternoon and welcome to the Colorado Jugger League's Mile High Open 2021. I'm your host, Sebastian Seabass Wolf.
And myself is Miguel Alvarado.
Welcome to Day 2 bracket play. So once again, we have 100 stone halves. This is a timed game and it is a double elimination bracket.
So we're going old school with this, stones instead of sets into Day 2. A more traditional way of playing Jugger, and it's going to change the dynamics of how the teams unfold today.
Taking a look at our bracket really quick, so we can see already that the winner's bracket is shaking out pretty significantly. Phoenix Lights and Reapers will be taking each other on in the quarterfinals, and Desert Wolves have also taken down the Oklahomies to find themselves in the quarterfinals against whoever wins today.
We're going to have Ursae versus Rigor, which we're about to watch right here. Going to be really exciting. Of course, the winner's going to be taking on the Wolves. After that, we've got Dringer versus Spartans, and following that, we're going to have the Oklahomies versus whoever the loser is of today's match.
To give you a really quick insight into Jugger, for those of you who may not have ever played the game before, we're going to take a second to go through a brief introduction on the rules and how-tos of Jugger so you know what's going on during this game today. Jugger is a competitive sport played between two teams. 4 enforcers armed with Pomfin and able to defend themselves, and 1 quick who has nothing and is the only player able to grab the ball in the center, known as the skull. After a countdown, the players enter the field and face off against each other in the center. The enforcers spar with their Pomfin, while the quick fights for control of the skull. If a player is struck by a Pomfin, they drop for a set amount of time, temporarily taken out of the action. Using a variety of Pomfin, from the spear-like slash or short and shield to the intimidating chain, an 8-foot ball on a rope, enforcers must work as a team to deal with their opponents while creating an opening for their quick to grab the skull. Once the quick sees an opening, they rush for the skull and then for the goal, placing the skull inside it and scoring a point for their team. Up next, we've got Ursae Majoris versus Rigor Tortoise here in the winner's bracket. I'm very, very excited for this matchup.
We've got 2 teams that got some good history in the U.S. You've got Ursae from California, hailing, of course, a couple years of play, just descending from the Berkeley Riot into Ursae as a university team. They've won first at the Dry Heat a couple years ago, if I remember right. Always been a competitive team. Got Rigor from Washington, of course, also with some powerful experience there. Some international guys on top, along with a couple of newcomers. They've done fantastically in the 2 events they've had. Let's get this going.
Now, Ursae Majoris is coming in as the number 3 seed versus Rigor Tortoise as the number 5 seed. So we're going to see a lot of disparity here between the two as far as records are concerned, but I think this is going to be a well-matched event.
All right, let's get this going. They line it up. Referees have this going, and they take off. We've got Ursae with the solid line. Ursae Rigor as well. Okay, line it up. A little bit of poking here. No one down just quite yet. You've got Rigor with ball control, moving up the field, doing a barn door on the outside. Chain swings on the outside. Ooh, they have advantage on the first run here. Coming in, going for a clean strike. What do they have this here? Staff on the outside. Goal, unopposed. Good job, Rigor. Great
Beautiful first
bout.
play there for sure. Yeah, they really collapsed that line against Ursae Majoris very easily. Did not put up much resistance, and Rigor get an easy first point.
Yeah, didn't see Ursae with their usual high energy levels on that one. I guess they're just feeling it out, trying to see what they're doing. Now, Ursae's a very meticulous team. They're really, really careful and cautious about how they do their lineups and about how they approach. So they're more of a reactive force. If you've seen their previous matches, most likely what they're doing here. We've got Rigor feeling confident on this next one. Let's see how they open the gate on point 2.
You see, once again, it's a little bit of a slower walkout here from both sides. This time, Ursae Majoris in possession of the skull. Chain very quick on the outside, but nice chain break by Rigor Tortoise.
All right, here's some aggressive swings. Chain has 2 down, right side's open. Quick goes for it.
Easy goal there.
Yeah, no problem. You got Rigor was slow to react on the far side where they did have players available. It looks like Ursae capitalized on field control from the beginning. Great work, guys.
I've noticed that the outside chains in general have been dominant tournament-wide right now. It seems like a lot of teams are struggling to really adapt to any sort of success on the outside.
See if they can respond right here. Okay, quick reaction too from the outside. Ursae still capitalizes on that right wing. Ball control maintained. They come back. Can they oh, yeah, open field, no problem. Ursae takes it second time, clearing both sides as well, making no opposition from the Tortoise on point 3.
And just like that, we are now up 2-1 against Rigor Tortoise here. Now, keep in mind, this is not set play, which is what it was during our day 1 of seeding. So that means these scores will continue to climb throughout the course of the entire game. We're not going to see a set point reset after a single point here.
Worth pointing out, in the very first run, Ursae lost almost all of their players right off the bat. Run number 2, they cleaned the right side. Run number 3, they cleaned both sides. Let's see if Rigor can respond, if they have a different approach here to set the score a little even once again.
Looking at Rigor or Ursae Majoris' side this time, as we see the run out here, both sides going to clash in the middle, and once again, Ursae are going to get skull possession with the flick early on. Fantastic chain break this time by Ursae, though. They are or by Rigor. They're going to knock down the chain here, see if they can capitalize on that play.
You have quick on the defense. Oop, good down. We have ball control from Tortoise. First time since their original score. Can they move up on the right side? You have the chains engaging. Move up on the chain break. 2v1. Can they finish it? Oh, it doesn't matter because you've got the quick on the outside going in. Oh, he has to toss the skull away.
Fantastic chain break there by the side of Ursae Majoris. They managed to totally take out the escort for the quick there on their side, and now they've regained possession of the skull.
You have a far side. Ursae quick coming back in. Can they get to it? Oh, both quicks right there. Ursae on top of it. There it is. Okay, we have a field. Is it going to be clear for the Bears?
Yeah, it looks like a totally open field on the outside, and that'll be an easy walk-in point number 3 for Ursae Majoris.
All right, good bout back and forth from both players. You had Rigor. Looks like they're adapting, and they had a good opportunity there on the far side of the field. Couldn't quite close the gap, but I think if they had one more win on the other side with the Enforcers, point could have gone in their favor.
Overall, really good job by Ursae there to maneuver their quick across the field. There was still lots of Rigor opposition there at the skull, but they were able to sneak it around the outside and get it to where their Enforcers were, no problems whatsoever.
All right, as we open up point number 5 here. Let's see how Ursae adapts to the new Rigor line. Looks like, Rigor has possession again. It's like they're cognizant of Ursae's early ball control strategy. Moving in with a very excellent push. We have 2v2. Chain gets the kill. Oh, they come back. Oh, was that Ursae that got... Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, they're still going.
A little bit of quick wrestle there, but I think that might have been point in. We'll see if the play ends. Yeah, there we go. Referee is going to call it right there. So that'll be 3-2. Rigor Tortoise coming back with a little bit of heat.
All right, they're moving succinctly. I think I want to hand that primarily to Rigor's opportunity to capitalize on that ball control. Again, when Ursae has that open field in the backside, they've got some pretty nimble quicks, and removing that advantage is really going to give Rigor the chance to capitalize on that far opening. Whether or not they win the far side, as you saw, they were struggling on the top, but didn't matter, still managed to push it through. This time they did hit that last win.
I think the real question is going to be, do you think they can consistently contest over the skull? They're going to try again there, but it looks like their quick is going to overextend a little bit, going to go down, and unfortunately Ursae's quick is going to stay up. They're going to run it straight in, and that's going to be point number 4. That was fast.
All right, good job, Ursae. Looks like it's going to be a race to the ball, and that seems to be the most deciding factor so far in these points. Got two teams that have quick lines right at the beginning.
You can tell that Rigor is definitely prioritizing trying to get to that skull quick, but they've got to be careful. You can't just let your quick get 4 or 5 steps ahead of your Enforcer line there, or exactly what we just saw is going to happen.
Now, Ursae's response is to make sure that the quick gets there fast, but also with Enforcer support. Let's see if Rigor's got enough speed to maintain that race. Looks like Ursae's not going to be as worried about it this time. Quick collects it, goes back, but they're struggling. Their line goes down.
Looks like really only the chain up. They're going to be forced to ice it here. Blastoise is going to try and get some chain play in. We're going to see that off screen. And once again, it looks like Ursae is still in control of the skull. It's on their side of the field, and their quick is about to be in possession. And I do believe that with that call right there, we are at the end of the half.
Yeah, unlike the day 1, when those stones run out, that's halftime. Like more traditional sports, you have a set time in the half. Now we're going into half 2. Going to maintain the score unlike sets. Again, both teams had a strong showing in that first half. Let's see if their responses can keep up in half 2. Here we go.
Also important to note, very similar to other sports, the teams are going to switch sides on the half here, so you'll now see Ursae Majoris coming in from this side, Rigor coming in from the other side, and there we go. We see the first run out. A lot more speed this time around from Ursae on the introduction.
Yeah, it looks like they're a bit hyped. You have a good block here on the far side. Your chain wrapped up. Is going to capitalize? He does. Chain goes down. They move in on the inside. Ball control. Ursae moves in. Looks like it's going to be a clean goal. No contest.
That will be an easy walk in there for point number 5. Now, something that I've noticed Ursae doing fairly significantly during this game is a lot of times once they have that field control, they seem to be letting their quick walk it in a little bit slowly. Is there a pro to having a strategy like that?
Yeah, so clock management is one of the elements of Stones that's people have a love-hate relationship with it. If you are up, the advantage is to let time run out to minimize the opposing team's opportunity to come on back.
All right, 5-2 is the scoreboard here. Rigor are going to have to capitalize fast if they want to try and even the score before time runs out.
Ursae has an explosive start there. They're not messing around with the skull this time.
Good inside chain, though, by Rigor Tortoise will get someone out on the inside field, and it looks like Ursae's quick is going to be forced to retreat to the backfield as Rigor sets up pins.
Yeah, Rigor's got field control here. Can they maintain, get that skull back? It's to Ursae's advantage to milk the clock here. If they can keep that skull, keep the other team from scoring, run that clock out, they'll be in great shape here. Looks like they might not need to, though. They managed to take it back. Field control is theirs. They march it on in. Looks like the Tortoise runner, did they get it? Oh, they're calling it a goal.
That was a very, very fast run in by Rigor, but just not quite quick enough. Yep, scoreboard will say 6-2. That will be the goal for Ursae Majoris.
Yeah, great contest from that enforcer on the Rigor side. Nearly had it. Bravo. Good run. Good run.
Definitely something you have to be cognizant of. If you don't have every single enforcer pinned, they can get those little back plays there, and sometimes that is enough to swing the entire goal in your favor.
Just needs one.
Once again, quick play by Ursae will get the flick towards their direction. A lot of those flicks are sideways more than they are backwards, but it's still getting them possession early on.
That's one of the most interesting takes, is to move it to the side where you have your strong enforcers, trying to gamble on that notion. Instead of having the quick back, quick runs up, goes behind the strong side, hoping to capitalize on an open gap. Looks like they almost got it here, couldn't quite maintain control, but... well, there it is. Hold on. Do we have Blastoise coming back up, running down the field?
Multiple enforcers, for that matter, taking him out. There's no more coverage, and it looks like Rigor Tortoise is going to put a third one away.
Excellent show by the shield on Rigor. Just cleaned up that north side. No problem. Gave their quick and easy run in.
You gotta be very careful when you don't have enforcers getting pins on those back lines. As soon as their stones expire and they get back up, all of a sudden there's a huge advantage pushing from your side of the field. It's going to be 6-3 on the scoreboard here, though it's only a 3-point deficit still. With time getting closer and closer to expiring, Rigor are going to have to get some fast plays if they want to try and make this competitive.
See both teams come out explosively. Very aggressive movements from both. No hesitation. They are all over it. We have Ursae pushing up. Can they keep that control? Enforcer versus Enforcer. Shield keeps it up. Oh, we have the quick now running. Again,
very good job in enforcing the quicks back there on the side of Ursae Majoris, but they do run back into cover exactly what they need to do, and once again, they are able to push up the field. No one left to defend against them this time.
All right, great work from Ursae, maintaining that control. Getting a good long score there, again to their advantage. You got these Ursae quicks that have a lot of top speed, a lot of agility, very difficult to chase them down. And in a clock management situation, it's an almost ideal circumstance for Ursae. It really, really works to their advantage here.
Yeah, absolutely. When we get to a 4-point deficit here, it is definitely within their best interests to continue to run out the clock as much as physically possible. But something I want to give my compliments to for Ursae over the course of the entire tournament thus far is their nimbleness of their quicks. It is very rare that they're in a position where they have to ice the skull. They are almost always able to maneuver their way around the field and try and keep possession as long as possible.
See a little bit less speed from both teams coming out. I'm seeing Rigor push in. Losing field control. Looks like Ursae's got it clean one more time.
Yeah, total wipe there. Gonna once again walk it in, and that'll be 8-3 against Rigor with the clock very close to expiring at this point.
Looks like what we can see here is teams losing a little steam, and that's okay. You know, it comes to the end of the match, and one of the downsides to Stones is that once that clock kind of runs out, you can't really come back. Now, one of the favors for sets is that in this position, it goes until you meet your points. So if Rigor could still come back, you'd still be seeing just as much vigor. One of the pros of that system for sure.
Right, you definitely see Rigor walking it out a little bit more as the lead continues to grow. Although they do manage to get the flick and skull possession this time. We'll see if they can manage to use it. Not quite going to be good enough as we see a Q-tip moving in there from the side of Ursae. Going to get knocked down. A bit of contest on who got who there, but I think overall, Rigor is still going to be in possession of the skull.
All right, we see him move in here. We got that ball. You hear the countdown from the audience. Nope.
And there it is, almost, but could not quite get it before time expires. That means the final score will be 8-3, and victory for Ursae Majoris.
All right, good job, Bears.
Indeed. Overall, they played exceptionally well, not only with their lineup, but their clock management as well. We saw multiple times where they continued to dominate on the field, total field wipes back and forth, really seeing the Quicks use their agility as much as possible, and a great job of running out the clock when they need to.
Yeah, gotta hand it to them. They adapted to the system very well. Good job, guys. That being said, you also had some strong shows from Rigor, a handful of good enforcers as well as good chain breaks. I gotta say their shield cleaned up more than one play. You also have their quick Blastoise, who's exceptional as a defenseman. However, Ursae's quick deciding instead of engaging to avoid, so you didn't really have an opportunity for Rigor to capitalize on that solid defense as much as they could in other matches, again working to Ursae's favor.
And on the side of Ursae Majoris, I have to give huge compliments to Mjolnir and Zhao, both of whom had incredible chain breaks and really set up a lot of opportunities for their team to walk in and get decisive points throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, overall, Rigor didn't have a chance for their strengths to shine. Again, they got some technical players, some experienced stuff, good strategy, but couldn't quite bring it back. Let's go over to the bracket here. You're looking at a lot of good matchups coming up. You got Phoenix Light and the Reapers, two of the most passionate teams in the U.S. Really excited to see that one. Desert versus Ursae, a classic rivalry you've seen again, both of them as competitors in the final of dry heats in the past. Moving on, we've got Colorado, Dranger versus Spartans on the top side of the losers bracket. You also got Rigor versus the Oklahomies, a match I'm really looking forward to seeing here in a little bit.
Yeah, really seeing all of these teams face off here in the next few days is going to be absolutely incredible to watch. All of these matches are starting to even out, which is something I'm very excited about. Well, that is it for the game today. This is the Mile High Open 2021. I'm your host, Sebastian Seabass Wolf.
And assistant commentator Miguel Alvarado.
Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below on what you thought about this match. And a huge thank you to everyone who has made this possible. The Colorado Jugger League, Kalik and Jake, Miguel, my co-caster here, and thank you to every single person who has tried to make this entire tournament possible. We will see you all next time with the Colorado Jugger League.